Familia! Dayspring here to talk about that post-credit scene in the Marvels. We're going to do a full breakdown of it. We already talked about it with Ralph from No More Mutants, but we're actually going to do a breakdown. We're going to talk about everything in great detail. We have images, so consider this your spoiler warning if you did not mean to click on this video. Spoiler warning for the Marvels and the post-credit scene for what it sets up. Now, we knew mutants, X-Men were somehow going to play a role in the Marvels because at the very least, Kamala Khan was revealed to be a mutant. So we kind of all had our eyes on it to see what the MCU was going to be doing with the X-Men. I got feels. I want to talk about it. And I just want to give the spoiler warning for anyone at home. Again, this is your final spoiler warning. We're going to get into it. 3, 2, 1. Spoiler warning done. Beast! My luck that the first X-Man in the MCU was going to be Beast. Well, technically, he's not the first X-Man because we got Xavier in Multiverse of Madness. But in terms of like the core team, Beast! Now, the surprise here was Lashana Lynch as Binary. Oh my god, I freaked out when I saw these images come in. Now, we talked about the images with Ralph from No More Mutants, but we didn't really do a breakdown of the context for it and everything because we hadn't seen the movie yet. We were just reporting on what was being put out there. Kelsey Grammer returning as Beast isn't too shocking because a couple of weeks before, I want to say maybe 2 weeks before the movie debuted, the rumors were circulating everywhere. Everyone was sort of talking that Kelsey Grammer is in the post-credit scene. Now, there were conflicting reports because there were some people who had seen press screenings and they're like, there's no after credit scene. There were people talking about how Monica just wakes up in an alternate universe, but there's no X-Men there. So this is definitely something that was added later on in post, I guess. We know Nia DaCosta had to leave the film to start working on her other film with Tessa Thompson. So, was this added afterwards? Who knows? But this is definitely, I would say, part of reshoots. And it's fine. It works really well. The setup is really, really great. But, Beast! Now, I will say, Kelsey Grammer Beast is an exception to my Beast-hating rule. I truly only hate Beast in the comic books because we love George Buza in the X-Men animated series, and we love Kelsey Grammer's Beast in X3 and Days of Future Past. And here he was great. He looks great. He looks like he just stepped out of a Jim Lee comic with his coat and his glasses and his hair like that. It was perfect. It looks so good. So let's give context to what led up to the scene. So everyone was saying that this was going to be incursions, but it wasn't an incursion like this universe with the mutants. Let's call it the Beast universe. For the sake of this conversation, let's call it the Beast universe. At the end of the movie, it's not that the universes are colliding like in Secret Wars. There's just an open in the space-time continuum, and we're seeing the other universe there. So that was kind of disappointing. I thought the larger problem was going to be that the incursions are happening and they're going to be officially setting up Secret Wars. But it's very much stated. It's the bangles that go like that and open up a rift in the time-space. So it's not because something's happening in the multiverse. This was deliberately done by the bad guy who did it. So, in that regard, I was kind of disappointed because I thought it was going to be something larger happening with the multiverse, but it really just was Dar-Ben when she got the bangles, like when she got the second bangle from Miss Marvel, she created this opening in time and space. So in that regard, I was a little disappointed because I really, again, I don't know what's up with Marvel that they just can't connect their stories in the way that they used to. For me, this would make sense if you were going to start happening two universes colliding together and you're doing Secret Wars. You would make this part of a larger narrative, or at least show how this rift in the time and space continuum was going to be contributing to that. Photon had to go to close the rift, and then she found herself in the post-credit scene waking up in the infirmary, presumably at the mansion, with Beast coming in and saying, "How's the patient?" And her mom, Maria, is looking over her And Maria has no idea who she is. And Monica's like, oh my gosh, it's my mom. Mom, I've missed you. Maria gets up, she takes off her blanket that she has over her, and she is in her binary costume. Now, I really liked it because the scene, there was a lot of motion to it. It was kind of like a throwback to WandaVision, where it was Monica at the bedside with her mom, and here it's Maria at the bedside with Monica. So that was really lovely. And the fact that she is binary obviously plays a major role with the X-Men, especially when they're in space. So I am 100% happy with this. It did give the emotional beat in the story purpose because, it was all about Maria dying and Monica not being there when she died. And we find out that Carol actually traveled back to Earth in those 5 years where Monica was blipped away, that she spent moments with Maria. Now, one thing I would just note is that because the binary costume looks so good, I wish the honor would have gone to Brie Larson. But as our co-host Michelle Waffle Odetto said, we've seen Maria in another universe where she was Captain Marvel, and here she's binary. That does not mean that one day Brie Larson cannot become binary, because I would love to see it be true to Carol's story. But Lashana Lynch, Maria Rambeau, looks so incredible in this costume. I'm so excited. That was a real surprise for me. Beast looks so good. I'm so excited for how he looks. Now, this isn't the multiverse of madness universe we saw where Charles and the Illuminati were at. I've seen a couple people confused by it. Beast in this scene clearly says Charles wants an update, and Charles died in the multiverse of madness universe we saw him in. So we can assume this is a different universe. Did Maria Rambeau die in the multiverse of madness against Scarlet Witch? I thought that was pretty cheesy, how her hand kind of fell after the statue fell on her, and her hand goes like that. I'm not a big fan of Sam Raimi. Sorry, I that is a hill I will die on. I thought Multiverse of Madness, as we've discussed in the past, wasn't a very good movie, and I think there were certain beats in the story that weren't good. So the hand falling like that, Maria Rambeau's hand falling after Wanda threw the statue on her, anyone's guess if she really died or if she was just, KO'd. Who knows? And here she's binary, and Beast says Charles. And Charles was very dead in the Multiverse of Madness universe. So, different universe altogether. I'm excited. So we have Monica Rambeau on this other side of a universe. She's obviously, presumably, going to be working with the X-Men and Binary to try to get back to her universe. So that's going to be setting up maybe Deadpool 3. I just think this is such a really good scene. It was done so well. Now, I have to rewatch it again. I don't know if the X2 score that was kind of rumored to have leaked and be in the movie, I wasn't really paying attention to the score. So if you guys know if it was a score, please leave in the comments below. But the one thing I am disappointed in, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, I wish they would have addressed Kamala being a mutant in the movie. They totally did not address it at all, not even a little bit. And I thought there was going to be a little Easter egg to it, where Kamala was at her house and Monica and Nick showed up, and she grabs, the iPad with her dossier on it, and she's going through it, reading her notes. I thought she was going to be like, what mutation you know about that? I thought there was going to be like a little nugget there, and they'll be like, no, we're going to talk about it later. They really do not address her being a mutant. I could not believe it. And I have to tell you, Iman Vellani's performance here was just so charismatic and so good that, you know what? I can loosen up my feels on Kamala being a mutant. In the past, I've been very strict about this. I was like, she was created as an Inhuman. Why is she a byproduct of the MCU film rights? Why if she was thought to be a mutant during her creation, did they make her an Inhuman? And now just to put her as a mutant, I think the character deserves more than being caught in the crossfires of corporate disputes and film rights. I just think the Miss Marvel IP is so rich and wonderful. But, I think seeing Iman Vellani here performing as Kamala, she had so much good chemistry with Brie and Tiana. So It has never been a criticism on her performance. It's never been a criticism on Miss Marvel. I just don't like the back and forth, and I like my stuff to be true to source material. But I was looking for it. I was looking for a mutant Easter egg with Miss Marvel. So, one of the things I really do want for the X-Men in the MCU is just to have a straight reboot of them going forward. It's kind of hard to argue that now when we're seeing Beast like this and he's in another universe. It's hard to argue this when Holly, James, and Famke are all rumored to be coming back. Of course, we want to see them. Ryan Reynolds is a perfect Deadpool. Hugh is a perfect Wolverine. It's kind of hard to argue for a straight reboot when all that nostalgia is coming back and they're doing the X-Men right. I mean, can you imagine if this is how they have Beast? Can you imagine how Famke is going to look, how Holly's going to look, how James is going to look? And we already know that Wolverine is in a comics accurate suit. I mean, it's just going to get better and better from here. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to argue otherwise, but I do want at the end of Secret Wars for the Fox X-Men to say their final goodbye, take a bow, and I want the X-Men rebooted officially in the MCU. Where I don't think we're going to see it until after Secret Invasion, and in the Scooper community, the rumor is that after Secret Invasion, we'll start the mutant age in the MCU. I was skeptical about it because the MCU has had a lot of misfires lately. However, this scene and the Marvels in general, I think the Marvels is a good movie. I can eat my words. I was skeptical going into it, Familia. We broke down that variety piece. I was like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't looking good. And coupled with Secret Invasion, coupled with that Loki has been a struggle to get through. Ant-Man was just terrible. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know about the Marvels. The Marvels is really, really good. So I think this scene was done really well. I think we are getting back on track. I haven't seen the Loki season 2 finale, but everyone's saying it's good. I think we are finally getting back on track with the X-Men. We're getting back on track with the Marvel Universe. This has me so excited. Again, I cannot believe, Familia, if someone would have told me a month ago that I was going to be doing a video where I was so excited that the sociopathic monster Beast was officially in the MCU and that I would be like, why aren't they talking about Kamala being a mutant in the Marvels? I would have been like, no, that's not me. That's someone else. That's a multiverse version of Paul. That's a variant Dayspring. That's evil. That's Dark Dayspring. But no, I'm eating my words here. The CG looks so good, not only in this scene but the entire movie. But Hank looks fully realized. That's what has me so excited, right? If it was just Kelsey Grammer, in his X3 makeup, I would have been like, whatever, kind of cheesy. But the way they just rendered him here for the scene, he looks great. Again, he looks like he stepped out of a Jim Lee, Joe Mad comic, and I'm just like, ooh, I want a Marvel Legends of MCU Beast. Wow, I may be collecting MCU versions of the Marvel Legends characters, so let's see. But yeah, I really liked it. Binary was a wonderful surprise here. Again, we did not get Kamala's mutant gene addressed at all in the film. That's a very odd choice. I don't understand why they didn't at least allude to it. Maybe upon second viewing, we can pick apart something and find a morsel there. But as far as I was concerned, I did not see any Easter eggs or any outward mention that she has an X gene. But Beast is here, and I can't wait to see the entire team. My question is, which Charles is he referring to? Is it going to be McAvoy or Sir Patrick Stewart? I want McAvoy. McAvoy is the one I want to come. No shade to Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart. I just think he's sort of done with the role. He lacked a certain charisma and screen presence in Multiverse of Madness. We talked about that. I think someone, countered that point to me saying that, it was direction. It's a little bit not... what happened in Multiverse of Madness was an insult to Charles. It's fine that Wanda bested him. That's fine. Wanda can beat him. But on the astral plane, Charles would put up a fight. He can lose to Wanda because it's Wanda who's a villain, but he could have put up a fight. But regardless of that, it's just like Sir Patrick Stewart's stage presence felt a little lacking for me. And I think, you know, people who are listening to the audio of his new memoir that came out, where I've been talking about how the audio is kind of slow and he's kind of somber. It could just be where he's at in his life and his career. So I would want McAvoy. I would really like McAvoy back. That would be my preference. But you tell me, Familia. Drop your feels in the comments below. Do you want James or Sir Patrick Stewart back? Did you like seeing Beast? Do you think he's done well? What about Binary? Are you happy to see Maria Rambeau as Binary? I think if we have her here as Binary, one day it's possible that Brie Larson could be Binary. Did you want them to address Kamala's X gene? Familia, so much to talk about, but so excited about this. Definitely go see The Marvels. Please go see it. It is a good movie. Take my word for it. You know I'm very critical. You know I'm always very honest, but The Marvels is a good movie, and this post-credit scene is wonderful. All right, Familia, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.